If you sleep 8 hours and still wake up tired, the problem may not be your sleep. It may be that your body spent the night managing stress, digestion, cortisol, blood sugar, and nervous system activation instead of doing what night is designed for: repair. Because sleeping and recovering are not the same thing. Sleep is the window. Recovery is the biological state. You can be in bed long enough and still wake with heaviness, puffiness, and fog in the mind. You are awake, but not restored. And usually there is a pattern. Some people wake heavy and swollen. Some wake around 2 or 3 with a strangely sharp mind, tired underneath but alert on the surface. Some sleep lightly all night, waking easily, never feeling like they fully dropped in. These are not the same pattern. This is why the answer is not always sleep more. In this video, I want to show you how to read these patterns through biology and Ayurveda together: cortisol rhythm, nervous system regulation, late night metabolic load, and the Ayurvedic timing of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, not as abstract concepts, but as rhythms your bodies evolved to follow. And later, I'll bring this down into 3 rhythm corrections: morning, digestion, and the nervous system before bed. Because I don't think sleep needs to become complicated before it becomes honest. Very often, waking up tired is not the body failing, it is the body reporting. And to understand that report, we have to stop looking only at bedtime. Most people look at sleep from the wrong end. They start with bedtime. How many hours did I get? Did I wake up? Was I in deep sleep long enough? Those questions matter, but your night does not begin at bedtime. Your night begins with the signals your body has been receiving all day. Morning light, caffeine, meal timing, stress chemistry, screens, artificial light, and whether you ever actually came down from the day. You may decide it is bedtime, but your physiology does not immediately follow the decision if the signals around it still say, keep going. So at some point, I stopped asking only, how many hours did I sleep? And I started asking, what did I bring into the night with me? Was I still digesting? Was cortisol still active? Was my nervous system still scanning the room even while I was asleep? Because if the night is loaded with unfinished biological work, sleep may happen, but restoration may not. I'm well into my 40s now, and the annoying thing is, my body has become very honest. It does not let me pretend the timing doesn't matter anymore. If I get the rhythm wrong, I feel it very quickly. Late night dinners for me are an absolute nightmare. I may fall asleep, but it is not restorative sleep. It feels metabolically busy. So these days, romantic dinners have slowly become romantic lunches, and social dinners have become social brunches. Not as cinematic maybe, but much kinder to my sleep. And very often, if I've been careless with my rhythm around 2 in the morning, my body wakes me up with that unmistakable alertness. Not rested, not peaceful, but switched on. And this is usually when the crazy internal monologues begin. Some of them are creative and inspiring, and honestly, some of them are just completely draining and pointless. If you know, you know. The body is tired, but the mind suddenly has opinions about everything. It wants to organize, solve, remember, create, worry, plan, analyze a conversation from 3 days ago, and maybe redesign your entire life before sunrise. For a while, I treated it like insomnia, but now I see it more as feedback. In Ayurveda, this timing actually makes sense. The middle of the night sits in the Pitta window, the time of internal processing, liver metabolism, heat, and transformation. So if I bring too much into that window, such as late food, emotional intensity, alcohol, stress, too much heat in the system, that processing can become too active. Modern biology may describe it through cortisol, blood sugar, liver metabolism, or nervous system activation. Ayurveda would say the fire of transformation is doing too much at the wrong time. And honestly, that is exactly how it feels. Like the body is not resting, it is processing. So that waking became a reminder, not a punishment, although it definitely felt like one at first, but more like my body saying, this is too much at the wrong time. Let's start with cortisol because I think this hormone is often misunderstood. People call it the stress hormone, and yes, it is involved in stress. But that is not the whole story. Cortisol is also a rhythm hormone. You need cortisol in the morning. It helps you wake up, mobilize glucose, increase alertness, and actually enter the day. Without that morning rise, you can technically sleep enough and still feel like your body has not fully arrived. In a healthy circadian pattern, cortisol rises shortly after waking and gradually declines across the day. By evening, the body should be moving in other direction. Lower cortisol, rising melatonin, more sympathetic activity, and more repair. So the issue is not cortisol itself. The issue is timing. Many people are living in a reverse rhythm. They wake flat and slow and then use coffee, urgency, work pressure, and stimulation to pull themselves into function. And then by evening, when the body should be coming down, the system becomes more awake. The body is tired, but the chemistry is not quiet. That is the tired but wired pattern. And this is where 8 hours of sleep can become misleading. If cortisol does not rise clearly in the morning, you wake without natural energy. If stress chemistry stays too active at night, sleep becomes lighter. If the nervous system stays vigilant, the body may be unconscious, but not fully in repair. The body may be asleep, but it is still working. And if the body works all night, you feel it in the morning. And this is the part I think many people misunderstand about sleep. They think that if the body is exhausted, it should automatically rest. But exhaustion and regulation are not the same thing. You can be completely tired and still not able to let go. The body wants sleep, but the nervous system is still on duty. It is like your body is lying down, but the system is still checking the doors. That is late night stress load, the digestive, metabolic, emotional, sensory, and hormonal load you carry into the night. Basically, how much your body still has to deal with after you lie down. And heart rate can be an interesting clue here. A lower heart rate at night usually means the body is not being asked to digest, defend, process, and respond all at once. But when that load is high, sleep becomes less about restoration and more about regulation. The body is trying to keep you stable, and that is very different from being deeply restored. So the timing matters. Your nervous system does not downshift because the clock says bedtime. It downshifts when the body finally receives one clear message. The day is over. You don't need to stay on duty anymore. Now we repair. Ayurveda gives us a language for something modern sleep advice often misses. Timing changes the effect. A heavy meal at midday is not the same as a heavy meal late at night. Stimulation during the day is not the same as stimulation when the body is trying to move towards sleep. Circadian biology says the same thing differently. Digestion, cortisol, melatonin, liver metabolism, immune activity, and alertness all follow rhythms. Ayurveda describes these rhythms through Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And if you are new to Ayurveda, I want to keep this very simple. These are not personality types. They are ways of describing patterns in nature and in the body. Kapha is heaviness, moisture, stability. Pitta is heat, digestion, transformation. And Vata is movement, lightness, sensitivity, nervous system activity. So when Ayurveda speaks about dosha timing, it is really describing your body's relationship with natural rhythm. This is circadian intelligence in the language of nature. If you wake heavy, puffy, dull, and slow, there may be an excess kapha quality involved, often made worse by a heavy or late dinner. If you wake around 2 or 3 with heat, hunger, or a sharp mind, there may be a pitta quality involved, often triggered by late food, stress, alcohol, or too much intensity in the evening. And if your sleep is light, restless, or irregular, there may be a vata quality involved, movement in the nervous system when the body needs grounding. This can happen with overstimulation, irregular routine, too much screen input, travel, emotional stress. And for many women, the hormonal storm of perimenopause can amplify this pattern. And I'm genuinely curious, which one feels most like you? Heavy morning, sharp 2 a.m. waking up, or light restless sleep? The Vata pattern is the one I know best. My constitution already has a strong Vata component, sensitivity, speed, movement, and a nervous system that notices irregularity very quickly. If I live too late, eat too late, or take in too much, my already dominant Vata starts making a dance with my nerves. And when that happens, sleep becomes less like surrender and more like negotiation. This is why I find Ayurveda so down to earth here. It does not rush to reduce sleep to one cause. It asks, what is the pattern? Modern biology may call this circadian disruption, nervous system dysregulation, metabolic load, or cortisol mistiming. Ayurveda would say the body has lost its right relationship with time. Different language, same body. This is why I use the phrase circadian intelligence. Your internal clock is not only about sleep. It is quietly organizing almost everything we tend to separate into different problems: energy, digestion, mood, blood sugar, nervous system state, and repair. So when the timing is off, it does not always show up as one clean symptom. It can show up as tired mornings, unstable energy, poor digestion, light sleep, or that strange feeling of being exhausted but still slightly wired. This is why consistency matters so much. Not rigidity, consistency. The body likes knowing what comes next. It thrives on predictability. There's a sense of ease and comfort when the rhythm becomes familiar. Personally, over the past 2 years, I have moved my sleep much earlier than it used to be. I go to bed at 8:30 in the evening, I'm usually asleep by 9, and I wake at 5 a.m. And the interesting thing is, this is not completely new to me. This was actually my rhythm when I was younger, before life, before work habits, and hormones pulled me away from it. So for me, This has not felt like forcing a new routine. It has felt more like returning to a rhythm my body already recognized. My digestion is calmer, my nervous system is steadier, my energy is less borrowed. Your truth may look different. The goal is not to copy my clock. The goal is to stop overriding your own. I'm much less interested in performing health now and much more interested in noticing what actually restores me. So if you wake up tired after 8 hours, I would not start by making sleep complicated. I would start with 3 timing signals. The first is the morning signal. When you wake up, go outside and let natural light enter your eyes for 10 to 15 minutes. Not through the window if you can avoid it. Actually outside. The sun is still one of the strongest regulators of our sleep and activity rhythm, whether we pay attention to it or not. Morning light tells the brain that the day has started, supports the cortisol awakening response, and helps set the timing for melatonin later that night. So before you ask your body for energy, give it the signal of morning. The second is earlier digestion. This is one of the biggest ones for real recovery. I would stop eating at least 4 hours before bed, especially if you wake around 2 or 3 in the morning, or if your morning state is heavy, puffy, foggy, or slow. Because a busy belly means a busy body. If digestion is still active at night, the body has to keep working. Heart rate often stays higher, temperature regulation can be affected, blood sugar may shift, and the nervous system does not drop as deeply into repair. This is why some people do not feel the effect of a late dinner while falling asleep, but they feel it later, in the middle of the night, or in the heaviness of the morning. In Ayurveda, digestion is strongest when the sun is strongest. In biology, we can talk about insulin sensitivity, gut motility, reflux, blood sugar, heart rate, and metabolic timing. Different language, same principle. Night is not the ideal time for heavy digestive work. And the third is the real nervous system transition before bed. I'm deliberately not calling it a bedtime routine because that phrase has become too aesthetic. I mean a physiological transition from day chemistry into night chemistry. 1 hour before bed, the phone goes away. Not because the phone is the enemy, but because the nervous system cannot keep receiving input and then be expected to drop into repair on command. After sunset, the light should change. When the sun goes down, the light in the house should become warmer, lower, more red or amber. Bright blue-toned light keeps telling the brain that the day is still happening. And then the body needs simple signals of safety. Walking, slow breathing, reading, prayer, warm oil massage, quiet conversation, anything that lowers stimulation instead of adding more. The room also matters. Dark, cool, quiet, not perfect, but supportive. And bedtime should be as consistent as possible because the body loves consistency. The nervous system relaxes more easily when it knows what comes next. The practice matters less than the physiological message it sends. And the message is simple. The day is complete. Without that message, you may fall asleep, but the body may not fully downshift. So if you wake up tired after 8 hours, do not only ask, how can I sleep more? Ask a better question. What disrupted my recovery rhythm? Because the morning often tells the truth about the night and about the day that came before it. A heavy morning may point toward late digestion, metabolic load, or Kapha accumulation. A sharp 2 or 3 a.m. Waking may point toward cortisol, Pitta activity, blood sugar shifts, liver processing, or stress chemistry. Light, restless sleep may point toward Vata, nervous system activation, and lack of grounding. These are not rigid categories. They are ways to read the body. And this is the part I want you to really take with you. Your body may not be failing. It may be giving you a report. You are sleeping but not restoring. You are tired but still activated. You are not broken. You are out of timing. And timing can be restored. This is where biology meets Ayurveda. I'm curious what pattern your body keeps showing you. Do you wake heavy and foggy? Or do you wake around 2 or 3? Or is your sleep light and restless? I'd really like to know what your pattern is, so tell me in the comments below. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.